last time out, Buddy Simpson was back. Did start to die out, and the final few laps were a lot easier when it came to defending the position. It was a good battle that Buddy had, and he is about to take his first point since Belgium with a great drive to 7th. Now it was time for him to move on to his second home race, the United States Grand Prix. Despite the situation with his dad, Buddy has a lot of friends in America, so he was looking forward to heading there. So, without further ado, it was now time for him to head to the Circuit Americas for the United States Grand Prix. So, as mentioned just then, Buddy really likes America, and there, he is fairly famous there, and he enjoys the fame that he's gotten from being a Formula 1 driver and being the son of an Indy 500 great. Buddy really enjoys the fame here, but there's something that puts a cloud over this, and that is the fact that Buddy Simpson this weekend will be taking an engine penalty. He strategically picked this race to take it because it's a track where it's fairly easy to overtake on. And the whole engine is new with all the components, which should mean maximum power delivery. He also has some upgrades on the engine for this race. So without further ado, it's time for the qualifying reports. The Texas sunshine was out in force as qualifying for the United States Grand Prix was about to get underway. It was business as usual for Sauber, as they were last of the qualifiers, whilst Alonso impressed to qualify in 11th despite the power deficit. Kvyat endured a solid session to qualify in 9th, whilst Kevin Magnussen made the top 10. Lance Stroll struggled and could only manage 17th, whilst Buddy Simpson's at the back due to an engine penalty. The two Force Indias start in 12th and 13th due to engine penalties, whilst the Red Bulls lined up towards the sharp end of the grid. The two Ferraris lined up 2nd and 3rd, whilst it was Lewis Hamilton who took pole for Mercedes, whilst Bottas qualifies in 8th due to a grid penalty. So, taking a look at how they line up, and it's Hamilton on pole by 0.2 of a second back to Vettel in 2nd. Kimi Raikkonen qualifies in 3rd ahead of Ricciardo in 4th. In 5th it is Max Verstappen ahead of Felipe Massa in 6th, Nico Hulkenberg in 7th and Valtteri Bottas in 8th with a penalty. Kvyat starts 9th ahead of Magnussen, Alonso, Perez and Ocon with their penalties, Grosjean, Sainz, Van Dorn, Stroll, Verline, Ericsson, with Simpson at the back with his engine penalty.
Today. With me today is Anthony Davidson, a man who knows this circuit quite well. Why do you think, though, Ants, that this Grand Prix has now found such huge success since returning to the calendar in 2012?
Well, full credit to the race promoters. They have a Grand Prix in a part of the country famed for its love of motorsport, and they do a fantastic job of advertising it to the right crowd, and then satisfying them when they're here with excellent facilities. It also tends to help when the circuit itself is good, and that's definitely true here. The layout is interesting and it produces some exciting action. Hosting a thrilling title decider like we had in 2015 wouldn't hurt either, so the pressure's on then to maintain that kind of quality here today.
So before the off, let's remind ourselves.
So, here is Buddy Simpson sitting on the grid here for the United States Grand Prix, round 17 of the championship. Obviously at the back of the grid, but he has an engine penalty. He was going to have to take it at some point. There was no way the existing engines were going to make the end of the season, and this is probably the best race to take it because it's a track where you can overtake. So many wide entry corners which aid overtaking, and so many good sections where a new engine will be advantageous. As you can see, it's going to be very interesting though. He's got to clear quite a few of the slower cars, and he's had a few problems with the Saubers this season when it comes to passing them. He got involved in a few incidents, but he's going to want to clear everyone as soon as he can. Hopefully it doesn't work out the way Monza did the last time he was starting at the back, where he got involved in an incident that was not his fault. So moving on to the end of the lap. Now the formation lap, as you can see, he is not really taking too much in terms of warming up the tyres, and the reason for that is obviously he's on the ultra soft and he doesn't want to overuse them. Obviously, because that could affect his race in a negative way. But heading into the final corner won't be a long wait for him, because obviously he's at the back of the grid. But he lines up on the grid here at the circuit of the Americas. He gets into his grid box, and we're ready for lights out at the Circuit of the Americas. Lights out, and away we go, and a good launch. Isn't really as important round as he's at the back of the grid, but he's got the jump on Ericsson. He's got a reasonable launch. Now heading into the first corner, everyone's got kind of back up, and Buddy has seen a gap down the inside where he's going to try to see what he can do. And he's side by side with Stoffel Van Dorn into turn 2, but he's going to have the inside line heading into the fast corners. But Van Dorn kind of makes a little bit of contact with him, but Buddy has taken the position, so Buddy has made up 3 positions already on Ericsson, Stroll and Van Dorn. And it's going to be very interesting to see if he can keep that momentum up heading into the rest of the race. So really good start. As you can see, Sainz is going so slowly, and he launches one up the inside. A little bit of contact there, wheel banging, nothing wrong with that. And Buddy has taken P16, so a good start to the race for Buddy. But as you can see, he's got Lance Stroll right behind. They're all battling it out ahead. Buddy runs a little bit wide, but he has defended the position. Now moving on to lap 3, as you can see, he's right behind the Sauber of Pascal Wehrlein, and he's going to send one up the inside heading into the first corner, and Wehrlein in the end has to back off. He still sticks his nose at the inside, but we have managed to make that move stick, so we are up to P15.
This is really good, Buddy. Keep this going.
Some words of encouragement. Buddy would move up to P14 due to a retirement. Can't remember who it was. As you can see, he is behind Romain Grosjean in the battle for P13. And Grosjean breaks really early. He does basically what he did to Sainz earlier, and he has made that move stick. Looking at the replay, as you can see, he just sends it up the inside, and he makes the move stick. So very good move from Buddy. As you can see, he's now behind the Force India of Sergio Perez, and he's close enough to make a lunge, which he is going to do in the first corner, and he has made that move stick once again. So Buddy is really sizing his way through the field. Now moving on a lap later, and as you can see, he's going to do basically the same thing to Esteban Ocon, and it's been a really good start to the race for Buddy, as he is making his way through the field and really making use of the increased power. Now, as you can see, he's behind the McLaren of Fernando Alonso. Obviously the Honda engine has little power, so this shouldn't be a hard move for Buddy. As you can see, he's got the straight on speed, but Alonso moves across. Buddy goes to the inside and he makes the move, but he was not happy about that. That was really dangerous, just moving across the straight like that. That could have been a massive crash. So now on lap 14, as you can see, Buddy Simpson has come into the pits for his first stop, switching to the super soft tyre from the ultra soft, going for a reasonably long stint in the hope that he can make some inroads at the end of the race. As you can see, he's exiting the pits, and unfortunately he was jumped by both the Force Indias. And obviously the undercut really working, and that is not the way that Buddy wanted it to work for him, and he's going to have to do that work again. He also wasn't able to get an undercut on Kevin Magnussen, but it didn't take long for him to catch up to the Haas driver, and as you can see, down the back straight we go, and we are going to send one up the inside, heading into turn 12, locking up a little bit, but we have made that move stick once again. Buddy was actually in a really good position now. I mean, there have been quite a few retirements, but as you can see, he is up into P6 right now. So, as you can see, he is right behind his teammate, Nico Hülkenberg. Obviously, he's not going to send one up the inside of his teammate, as his team was quite stern about what he needed to do to get past.
Okay, Buddy, please be careful passing Nico. We don't want a collision.
So Buddy gets that message. As you can see, he is right behind his teammate now, and heading into turn 12, he makes the move. Hülkenberg doesn't really fight it as you'd expect as their teammates, but he has made the move stick. So now Buddy heads into the pits for his second and final scheduled stop. He's changing to the super soft. He wanted to go longer to go to the ultra soft, but he didn't have enough sets left. So, as you can see, he is entering the pits. And unfortunately, we do fall victim to a few undercuts, and we exit the pits in P9, but there are still a few cars who have to pit.
Okay, Buddy. Ocon is the next car. If you push, we can catch him.
So the team basically saying Ocon's the next car. I mean, there's Kvyat ahead, but he still has to pit. So the next car that we're actually racing is Esteban Ocon. But it was going to be a tall order. I mean, because not that many laps to go, and quite a large gap to close. But he is trying hard to manage the fuel so he can push when he needs to see if he can catch. He would close, but he would run out of laps to catch the Force India, so eventually he decided, forget it, let's just settle for 6th. So he rounds the final corner to finish in P6, still a good result for him from the back.
Thanks guys, car was amazing. Woo, that was fun.
As you'd expect, Buddy Simpson really enjoyed that. And
now let's take a look at
as you can see, looking at the
standings.
result, so a good result for Renault to be
Who wins further
P6
ahead
and
at the top of the table?
P7
Now I'd like to ask
for
you, Anthony Davidson,
Renault,
who was your driver of the day?
and a decent result. I mean, Massa only scored 1 point and Haas only got 2, which really benefits us in terms of the championship, as now Buddy is up into
That's a fantastic performance from Ferrari.
P10 in the
It
standings
hardly
in the
looks
top
it
10, and Renault are back ahead of Haas.
What do you think
So
made the
a
difference
good
here?
day in general, and from the back of the grid, it was a really good drive from Buddy, and obviously with 3 races to go, now I guess he's got to see if he can defend those positions and make up more positions in the final 3 races. As you can see, everyone's in the pit lane.
So, here they come
As you can see, the
now,
drivers going out onto the podium.
Wherever you
It is
go,
Vettel who
anywhere in the
wins,
world, the prancing horse flags
ahead
are
of
dominant in the
Ricciardo
grandstands,
and
they're out in force
Raikkonen.
today. It's
But
Ferrari on the
Buddy
doorstep
pulls
once
off
more.
a good race here at the Circuit of the Americas. The question is, can he keep up the momentum as F1 moves south to Mexico?